today I want to talk to you more about the theoretic side of Strata-Cut, and I wanted to call this the Strata-Cut new wave because that's how I feel it. I feel that David Daniels invented that technique, and he tried to share the knowledge with all of us. And thanks to him, now we are able to be like a second wave or new wave of Strata-Cut, and that's how I feel. And I think you might understand this point of view that we are the new wave, and that's the title for this presentation. And also why Strata-Cut is more alive now than never and how it happened. It's what I am going to be explaining. So the ideas we are going to talk is about Strataganzza's story, how this all started, the situation of Strata-Cut, what is the Strata-Cut community, how it works, how we are doing, and the future of Strata-Cut. Of course, this is all from my perspective, but I think you might find points that we are all in common. About the Strataganzza story, I think it's interesting to talk starting by this festival that you are now presenting. And I think this is like a mathematical formula, but it's the easier way I found to explain it. Because the Strataganzza, from my point of view, it's Stratover number 2. And Stratover was the Stoma Monsters 3. It's a bit complicated to understand in this way, but basically, a few years ago, we created a community, a stop motion community, that was called Stoma Monsters. I created this community with Valentin Falconi. And we had been doing challenges to challenge people, to encourage them to do stop motion. The very first Stoma Monsters we did was basically we united COVID, because in that year, in 2020, was the time when COVID was happening and everyone was at home. We learned to do video calls, to do conferences through internet. So we thought that it was a great moment to start doing a stop motion community that was online, that was international, and we could start creating animations, even not connected in the same place. And it was a great opportunity for people to connect. It all started because I wanted to do an animation with Valentin, who shares my style. Actually, it's the guy that's on the top. This is Valentin with one of his animations. Basically, I wanted to make an animation with him and connected with the COVID idea. So we had a COVID bacteria that was thrown to the center of the image, and then this was the transition for the other animation. But Valentin told me, why we don't do this open and anyone can join it? So, okay, I thought it was a great idea. So we started doing this community, Stoma Monsters, and we opened the challenge to everyone. So the first time we did Stoma Monsters, it was 21 people participating, and it was really a great moment for us. We had video calls with assistant, with the people doing it. We help each other, and it was great. We really enjoyed it, and we decided to do Stoma Monsters 2, like the year after. And it was as well cool. It wasn't related to COVID that time, but it was really interesting. And this is the account we created for Stoma Monsters. So the second year, we decided that Stoma Monster had to be like a community, not just me and Valentin doing a challenge, but that had to have his own Instagram account. So we created Stoma Monsters for the second edition. And for that third edition, Stoma Monsters 3, we wanted to do something different. But we didn't know exactly how we wanted to make it different. But the challenge was happening in August, September, October of 2020. So because of that, well, in that time, in 2022, it was a moment when David Daniels opened his account, and it was the moment when everyone was knowing about this. So we thought, why not doing Strata-Cut? And this was our first Strata-Cut that we did. The one on the this one is the Strata-Cut Valentin made, and this is the Strata-Cut I made. It was like my second Strata-Cut, and we did the first animation to encourage people to join us. So at the end, 21 people has joined the Strata-Cut challenge. It was a really nice success. And I'm going to try to explain how it started. Basically, in August, September 2022, not many people was doing Strata-Cut. Actually, it was just really few people. But what happened is that David Daniels opened his Instagram account. It was Strata-Cut, and it was created. And because of that, a lot of things happened. I tried to place here some dates, some years of things happening, some milestones, because I want you to understand how it all evolved. So we all know David Daniels created the Strata-Cut in the 90s, but he stopped doing them and somehow not working too much in that direction anymore. But then in 2012 is when he publishes tutorials on YouTube. At the same year, more or less the same year, Lee Hardcastle made his first Strata-Cut for a TV commercial that was this TV. So he did his first commercial. And for many years, that was the only famous, we can say, person who did a Strata-Cut. Lee Hardcastle did one in 2011, thanks to David Daniels' tutorials, but not many people knew about David Daniels' tutorials because they were in the website, on his website, stratacut.com, and people, I mean, I didn't know about them because it was really weird, really difficult to find it. And if you search for Strata-Cut and you don't know what it is, it was really difficult to find out. But what happened is that some people did some little works, and this is little by little showing to the world that Strata-Cut is something that exists. For example, in 2020, Kevin Parry made slices of fruits, and he did like Strata-Cuts, but with fruit and with avocado and stuff like that, and that was really viral on social media. So people realized you could slice stuff and make stop motion with it. And that was 2020, so it was like 10 years after David Daniels publishes his first tutorial. As well in 2020, Assis Merino, who is a Spanish animator, did his first animations. And I want to make a difference, very big difference, between the people slicing stuff and the people strata-cutting, because it's not the same. So, okay, you can strata-cut a tree and it's going to look amazing, or you can strata-cut an avocado and it's going to look good, but you are not doing the techniques of strata-cutting in there, because when you do Strata-Cut, you are animating through building. So you build something and then you animate it, and after that you slice it. If you slice something that's in the nature, it can be considered Strata-Cut, but it's not using the techniques developed by David Daniels. So it's, in my opinion, a different thing. In 2021, Terrence did his first Strata-Cut that was for Adult Swim. As well, many people watch it on Adult Swim and were confused, like, what is this, right? Because not everyone has seen the animations from David Daniels. So these animators doing little tests were the first things we found out. And also in 2021, Elard Devane starts Strata-Cutting, who is a really important piece of this puzzle because he had been developing the techniques so much. And it was the beginning of many things. And in 2021, I did my first animation as well, my first Strata-Cut, not my first animation. But what is really important is that in June of 2022, the first viral video of Strata-Cut happened. So suddenly, everyone on internet, everyone on Instagram knew that the Strata-Cut was a thing, and everyone knew that was amazing. Like the feelings when we first seen the first viral video of David Daniels were like, wow, we were amazed. We were like, it wasn't possible to describe it, to understand it, to know how he did it. It was like for all the young people on Instagram watching this was like, wow, how is this possible? Just for reference, this is what Lee Hardcastle has made 12 years ago, as you can see here. His first Strata-Cut was made 12 years ago on YouTube. And these are the tutorials from David Daniels. This is the website, the Strata-Cut website, where you can learn to Strata-Cut. So from these tutorials is where all of us have learned. Anyone that has ever made a Strata-Cut, whether has made it by imagination or he had followed those tutorials. That's like the only way we have to learn nowadays. This is the list David Daniels made. And personally, I had watched this first video before doing the event of Stomo Monsters. I had watched this video where it's David Daniels teaching Strata-Cut in 1992, which is really impressive, really amazing, but it's also very pixeled. So you don't really see what he's doing, but okay, it's amazing. And these little things like this documentary were the things that were waking up our interest. In this picture, you can see some Strata-Cuts which are made without knowing techniques of Strata-Cut, and basically without knowing techniques, because this is a cake and it doesn't really has techniques or explosions or anything related to the techniques of David Daniels. This on the bottom is my first Strata-Cut, and I did it without watching the tutorials. I just placed clay, sliced it, and something happened, but I didn't know how. And this is one of the animations from Terrence, who also said the same. Like, he tried to experiment, but he didn't learn the techniques yet. And that's why it's really exciting for me and for many people, especially from Spain, to see this account. This is the account from Assis Merino, who basically has developed the abilities to make walk cycle on Strata-Cut, a person that is smoking in Strata-Cut, a cube that is turning in Strata-Cut, a guy that is doing this with the arms with the Strata-Cut. And this is an account that is not very big, but that was like the beginning for me to understand that was possible to be made, and wasn't like impossible thing. These are some pictures from the really early animations from El Art. So there are some of the preparations he does. As well, he was a great inspiration. This is the first viral video David Daniels had in his account. So we see 9,000 likes, and I don't know the amount of reproductions, but that was like, people were like amazed by this. This was like, for many people, this was the beginning to know what is Strata-Cut. And that was in June of 2022, so 1 year from now. He started sharing some of the pictures of the process, and it was even more amazing to know how he did that. Like, this is 7 feet length. Oh my god! And well, this making offs. I remember talking with my assistant and saying like, man, this is impossible to conceive. How is that possible? How this can be made? How someone can imagine this? Well, after watching the tutorials, we understood. This as well was another viral video from the Strata-Cut account, and that one reached 3 million reproductions. And that was really when all the stop motion community, everyone on the internet realized that it's possible. So this is the stop motion animators in June 2022. This is how we all were. We were all amazed about what was going on the Instagram account of David Daniels. And basically everyone was talking about Strata-Cut. During that time, everyone was saying that those amazing animations, how they do it, how is that possible? So we decided to move on a little bit. We decided to do it. And I don't know if you can see the screen. Can you guys see the screen properly?
Yes.
Okay, so basically this is the first conversation I had with El Art. And it's pretty funny because I was just asking him, but I wasn't sure about making the Stomo Monsters 3 to be Strata-Cut event. But this is the conversation we had, like, hey man, how is it? How are you doing? How long you been doing that? And I told him I was thinking to do Stratober because it was going to be an event in October. So I said, why not call it Stratober? Because there is the Inktober. So why not doing Stratober? Because we are doing the Strata-Cut event in October. And he said, like, there are not many people doing Stratagat, but I might help you find the people that's doing it. And, yeah, he says here, can I compose a list of few people, and I would recommend and save along for you to like? And I say, yeah, okay, great. But the truth here is that I didn't expect him to make the list. So I was thinking, yeah, do the list of people doing Stratagat, sure, but I wasn't believing him. And the point is that he did the list. I mean, he sent me the list with 10 people doing Stratagat. And after that, I felt like compromised. And I was like, okay, then we are doing the event. Before that, I wasn't going to do Stratagat. It was just asking, knowing people and etc. But he sent me the list. He told me like all these people is doing Stratagat. All these people it's doing. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 people. So okay, thanks to Lard, I decided to contact everyone and say, okay, guys, we are doing the event. We are doing Stratagat event. We are doing Stratober, and this third Stoma Monster is going to be Stratober. And because we are Stoma Monsters, we had to do monsters in Stratagat, and these are some of the monsters that people did. This one on the top, it's from Asis Merino, who is the Spanish animator I told you he is learning from a few years ago. This one on the bottom is from Elart, which is a dragon. He won the event. And this one on top, right, it's from Taylor, and it was his first Stratagat ever. And since that point, he started making those, and well, that was probably the best thing of the Stratover. But the interesting thing is after we did that, we all start getting viral videos. Those are videos from Elart. Those are all videos from Elart. This is the one on the left. It's the dragon he did for Stoma Monsters. But the one on the middle, it's the making of. And that making of got 33.8 million reproductions on Instagram, which is a lot. I mean, if you are in social media, 33 millions, it's like everyone has seen that. It's really difficult for someone not to see a video that has 33 million views. That's quite a lot. And I can tell Elard was getting 100,000 followers after this. And similar thing happened to Taylor. He started making Strataguts for first time with the Stratagut event we did, but then he got millions of views. Like this animation has 8.8 million views, and that gives you a lot of energy to keep doing what you're doing, of course, and also can give you commissions, can give you work if you keep doing it. In the Stoma Monsters 3, the Stratover, we also did interviews. We realized that it was better to help people learn of the technique and have some events every week. So we did the Stratover like 1 month after we announced it, but during that month we had been doing one interview every week. So we interviewed David Daniels, we interviewed Lee Hardcastle, we interviewed Asis Merino, and we interviewed Elart. So all those interviews can be found on my in YouTube channel, where you can see the interviews and what we chat about Stratagat, how they do his Strataguts, and well, those interviews are some information you might like. If you notice, that was made 11 months ago, so it was like 1 year ago. 1 year ago. So that's why at the beginning of this chapter I said that Strataganzza is Stratober 2, because now it's October, right? And it's an event from Stratagat. So and it's 1 year after. So I think it's fair to call it as well Stratover, but because it was organized by David Daniels, he wanted to change Strataganzza, so now it's Strataganzza, but they are like same thing. For me, I don't know for other people, but for me it's very similar. Can you guys hear me well? Is everything going well?
Yes, we can.
You can? Okay.
We can.
It's very quiet, so I don't know if people it's if it's interesting for you guys. I hope it is. So, okay, the actual situation of Strata-Cut. Where are we? Are we growing? Is it a good time? And why is it? So I think we are in a situation where many of us have started to see that there is attention going to Strata-Cut. There is people looking to what we are doing, and we have opportunities to grow. Um, and that's what is the situation of Strata-Cut right now. Just to give you an example, 1 year ago, 50% of the people that is teaching today in Strataganzza didn't know about Strata-Cut. And if you go even more back, if you go 3 years ago, 90% of the people that is teaching on Strataganzza didn't know about Strata-Cut because it was just David Daniels knowing about it. And in the last year, all of us, all the people doing Strata-Cut seriously, in the last year, all of us have got a commission work on the last year. So all of us. And many of the people that we are here now as well had a video on Instagram that has more than 1 million views. So is it a good moment for Strata-Cut? Yes, I think it is, because we got attention from some people. The situation we are now, it's different than the situation we had in the 90s. Now we all consume short form videos, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 8 seconds even. And Strata-Cut is something that it's impressive for everyone. When you see a Strata-Cut, it's impressive, especially if you work it out. It's really, really, really impressive. And that's a great moment. If you enjoy doing this that you're doing in Strataganzza now, if you enjoy this event, if you enjoy doing Strata-Cuts, think that this is something you can do for living. I mean, it's not 100% sure, but like anything in art, it's not sure. But if you work hard and you use social media, you might be working as a Strata-Cutter next year, as we are doing now. This is the video you have seen at the beginning, and I wanted to tell you that when I participate and I created the Stratover, when I made Stratover and we did the event, I haven't seen the tutorials from David Daniels. That's something I have to say. I seen one video and I said, yeah, okay, let's do Strata-Cut, and I started making them without studying it properly. And January this year, in the beginning of the year, I decided to be serious about that, and I decided to study all the tutorials. So I had been watching like more than 6 hours of tutorials, and this animation is the first Strata-Cut I did after studying properly Strata-Cut. And this animation as well on Instagram has gotten like 3 million views, 3 million reproductions, and has gave me like a work that I am doing now. So I'm really happy with the results. And okay, as well, this movement, these things that happen, the Strata-Cut event, David Daniels being so involved in everything we do. The interview I did with David was amazing. We connected so much. We keep talking since then. We are talking all the time, sharing ideas, etc. We have created like a really, really, really small Strata-Cut community, which is just right now it's just an Instagram group, but we are a small community of people that are interested to grow Strata-Cut, to grow doing Strata-Cut, to learn new ways to do the technique, and that we are here to help you. If you want to join Strata-Cut, if you want to join this movement, you want to be one of us, you are invited. So that's why I say that it's a small but supportive group and community. If you want to learn more about Strata-Cutting, you have our YouTube channels. So you have my personal YouTube channel, you have the YouTube channel from David Daniels, who who has all the tutorials. And also you have the Claymation's YouTube channel, which is amazing because I think he has a very nice skills and ability to tell people and explain what he's doing. I think his YouTube channel is really underrated, but at some point people will realize that there is really good content. So if you have to have a look to any YouTube channel, go to Claymations, because really it's I'm amazed about how he does videos and how he explains, and I mean it's really doing a great job, and we have to encourage him keep doing those tutorials. As well, we have Instagram, so all of us have Instagram. There are all our Instagram accounts. If you do a Strata-Cut for first time, don't be shy. You can tag us, and we will go there and comment and say you are doing an amazing job. So we will be supporting you. Anything you do, if you use the hashtag, the hashtag, this thing, and mention us, we'll go there and have a look and try to help you. The same happened with hashtags. We have the hashtag Strata-Cut, Strata-Cutters, and basically that's it. But I have created some hashtags that we can use as well, which is Time Slicer, Strataganzza for this event, Stratover, or Strata-Cut Live. Those are not being used yet, but we can start using them. So those create like a tiny place on the internet for the community. Okay, let me drink water. What is the future of Strata-Cut? What do I think is the future of Strata-Cut? Well, the future of Strata-Cut actually it's in our hands. So it depends on how we act. That's what's going to happen with the community. If tomorrow we stop doing animations, that's it. If tomorrow we keep working and doing more and more animations, at some point more people will know about it, more brands will want Strata-Cut made, and this art will be able to expand and grow, which was looking like impossible in the 90s, but now it's a moment where it can grow and it has a new life. That's why it's the new wave of Strata-Cut. Things I wish that were different. Okay, I'm sorry for this, I'm going to say, because David Danes is here, but I wish the tutorials were easier to understand. Because if you go to the YouTube channel on David Danes tutorials, that's the only tutorials we have, and those are amazing because that's the only thing we have, but they are really tough to watch. So I have been studying, and I had to drink few coffees before watching one tutorial because they are really like a person cutting and moving, and there is no editing. So I wish the tutorials were a little bit better, and maybe we can do something about it. Knowledge about it and name it. This is really important because if people doesn't know what Strata-Cut is, they won't know they want a Strata-Cut, right? So if you don't know something exists, you don't know you want a Strata-Cut. I'm not talking about normal people, I'm talking about brands and people that is commissioning work, commissioning animations. If you don't know the name, it's impossible for you to want that. That's why it's important to name it. If you search on YouTube Strata-Cut, there are just 3 videos. People doing Strata-Cut, it's avoiding the word Strata-Cut because no one knows what it is. So even I did a video that was about Strata-Cut, and it was called The Claymation Style You Don't Know. Because if I say Strata-Cut, nobody's going to search it, nobody is going to find it. But if you use Claymation or stop motion, then people find it. So I think it's important that little by little we construct this idea of people knowing what the word Strata-Cut means, what it is. And this also applies to textures. 2 days ago I was watching Elart's masterclass, which was amazing. I think he did a great job explaining us the textures. And I found really interesting that for every texture, he had a name for it. So that's really important. Because if I don't know what a reboxing is, I cannot think that I need to rebox a texture. If I don't know what is an exploding pattern, I can't create exploding pattern. So it's important as well that someone helps and comes and say, okay, this texture has this name, this texture has this other name, because that way we have, like, it's like when you're doing music. If you don't have the notes, you cannot play music. So this is the same with the Strata-Cut. If we know the names of the textures, we can compose our music based on those names. And that's important. I think that's important to name every texture, everything we can do in Strata-Cut has to have a name to make easier the learning curve for other people. And the second, the next thing is that it's very similar. So I wish there was more study, more classifying, and more people sharing the Strata-Cut, because there is no much things made. And also I wish that maybe there was I don't know if it's possible to have a reward system. Like, we did the challenge, but the challenge didn't have like a big reward except for being shared. And maybe there is a way we can do it in a way that people winning can get something, maybe a bunch of clay, maybe I don't really know, but there is a ways. So if we encourage people to do Strata-Cut, that's going to grow the amount of people doing it, and that's going to grow the awareness of the technique as well. That's very important. Share it, and as that's a personal opinion, but I think if we don't share what we're doing with the Strata-Cut, even not only the Strata-Cut but also the knowledge, nothing will have sense. We are all here because one single person shared his knowledge. Just one person. 1 year ago, he was the only one knowing this knowledge because not many people had studied. Now we are just, I don't know, 10, 20 people that knows how to do Strata-Cut. Maybe now we are 30 or 40 because there are a lot of students there learning. You are a lot of people learning. But the point is, if you learn a technique, share it, because that's the way for other people to experiment and learn and improve it. If we don't share it, this is not going to grow. There is a lot of things to learn in the Strata-Cut field, and it's all based on sharing. If we don't share, yeah, okay, you can learn one technique. Maybe you learn how to do Strata-Cut with gelatin, and you don't say anyone how you did, what's the formula. But if you don't share it, then the other people is not going to be able to help you improve it. It's the same with anything. If you invent a guillotine, you should share it or find a way to make easier to other people to access to that information, so we are able to keep growing, because the growing is what is going to give us best rewards at the end. The future of Strata-Cut has some problems, of course, has problems to solve. And those problems are, we need to find a way to make better tutorials. We want to inform people about what Strata-Cut is. We want to study and share new ideas. And we want to create a competitive environment for growing. Because that's a reality. People get more involved when there is a competition. So if we are able to create a place where people can send his best Strata-Cut and they win something, they will be more encouraged to keep doing and doing and doing. Of course, there are natural rewards. Like if you get a lot of views on Instagram, you might get some clients. So that's a reward that is natural. But we want to push that as much as possible, because we believe in Strata-Cut and we believe that this can be expanded. Okay. Can I help? That's something maybe you are asking yourself.
Do you want me to open it up for questions, Tony?
There is. Give me 1 second. I haven't finished, but I will open for questions. Do you have a microphone for people? Do you have a microphone for the people to talk to me?
I will probably pass their questions on to you.
Okay, that's great. Okay, maybe you guys are thinking if you can help. What can you do for helping this movement to happen, this new wave to be strong and be a strong reality? Yes, you can help. Okay. How can you help? That's really simple. It's really, really, really simple. There are two ways you can help to do this thing a reality. And they are really simple and logic. One is with time investment, and the other one is with economic investment. That's the two ways you can do to make Strata-Cut grow. Whether you invest your time or you invest your money if you don't have time. And both ways are nice, both ways are good for make this growing. And even if we don't have the system yet to solve the economic investment, we want to create it. Okay, these are some ideas of how you can help grow the Strata-Cut with time investment and with economic investment. How can you help with time investment? For example, you can make tutorials. If you are not good talking or making tutorials, you can edit someone else's tutorials. Maybe you are an editor and you want to support the movement, you can edit someone else's tutorials. You can make informative videos about what is Strata-Cut. Maybe just a video saying, oh guys, I realized that there was this technique of clay and that's amazing. So this type of video as well, it's really helpful for people in discovering the movement. You can help studying new ways to Strata-Cut and sharing those with the community. You can help create a competitive environment. You can participate in Strata-Cut challenges. You can help organizing Strata-Cut challenges or events like Strataganzza. Strataganzza has been help for many people that has helped to make it happen, and we are very helpful. I don't know personally who has helped, but I'm sure so many people helped David Daniels, and I want to take the time to thank to these people because I'm sure there is a person behind the cameras, there is a person helping this event happening, and these people, it's really, really helping, and it's really important what they are doing. So thanks. I don't know if you, well, I want to say thanks to all these people. Also, if you are not able to make animations or videos or editing or helping on challenges, what you can do is you can share posts or YouTube videos related to Strata-Cut. That's something really easy you can do. It's absolutely free. Just share it with a friend and say like, hey, look what I just discovered. This is Strata-Cut. Nice to meet you. And talking about it to your friends and family. Those are the ideas I have to invest time on growing Strata-Cut. And the economic investments are very similar, but with an economic side. So you can support a creator to make tutorials. So we can make we can create a pool of money for someone to make tutorials, whether it's with Patreon, GoFundMe, or whatever system we find. But that's a possibility. Like we pool to create videos that are really, really effective to teach Strata-Cut. You can also support with the same pool for editors to make those tutorials. You can do support creators that are doing Strata-Cut as well, maybe with Patreon as well or GoFundMe. You can create or help creating a competition that has economic awards. I don't know, maybe there is a competition on Strata-Cut where every person puts $10 and the winner gets the amount that it's placed. So that way you have like a, you have a motivation to create like the best Strata-Cut ever. I think these little things make a big difference. And creating a community which it's decided to make an economic investment every month to do this community grow. Like maybe we are a team, an amount, maybe let's say 10 people, 15 people, that each of us plays some money every month. And with that, we decide what we can do to make Strata-Cut more accessible for other people, what we can do to make Strata-Cut a place in the world. And basically, these are the ideas I have, and I want to hear your ideas. And that's all for my talk. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know how long or short it was. I hope it was on time. And I want to know what you think of this. This is my Instagram account. Can you guys hear me? What did you say?
They're clapping for you, Tony.
They're clapping? Okay, thank you. Okay. I'm going to show you, I'm going to try to see what, because Can you point to the people? Because I have a second screen. Oh no, you see what I'm seeing. You're watching the trick. Okay, wait. I will put the YouTube, and I want to see the people that it's there, because I like this to be a little bit more human. Just before we go to the questions, here you find my Instagram account. There is a link tree, so a link for the link tree. If you go to inside this link tree, uh, this window will pop up, and this arrow is wrong. It's not that place. It's on the bottom, but there is a newsletter. So I have created a newsletter where you can join this newsletter, and there will be a place. That newsletter is going to be a place for us to start developing those ideas, like creating a community for doing new tutorials or finding the ways to economically solve. I don't know. These ideas we can share it on the newsletter. So I encourage you to join the newsletter. And thanks for being part of the Strata-Cut story with us. So now we can go for questions. Now I have two screens and I see YouTube on one screen, so I can see there is people, very pixel people, but hello. Can you hear me? Can you say hello? I don't, can you hi? Ah, okay. Hey, hello. I'm so happy to see you guys. You are so brave to be there doing Strataganzza.
All right, Tony, I'm gonna open it up for questions and I will relay them to you, okay?
Okay, please.
Okay, great. Does anybody have any questions for Tony? Not Siri, Tony.
What?
Someone's phone Siri went off when I said that. So they were laughing. No questions? Yeah?
Yeah. So I want to ask you, you think some people make it short films with the proper title? Or it would help with send them to staff or would you send to the, I would think so, make the technique more, because it can be okay when I use it, when I talk in university. None of the lecturers knew it, so it's a bit obscure.
Mhm.
We translate people to do short films and send to staff, so that would help.
Question is, do you think that film students making short films would help the exposure for Strata-Cut?
Yes, I think it will. I think it will help, but we have to be realistic in some points. The advantage we have with social media is that the format it's 8, 15, 20 seconds. And that's a format that works very well with Stratagat, because if you want to create let's say you want to create a 5 seconds Stratagat, it's going to be this size. So that's 5 seconds. Okay? This is 5 seconds. Uh, and so making a short film, which is like minutes of footage, it's going to be very complicated. I mean, you can do it, and it's great because it will go to festivals, and we need to break that barrier. But I want to know if it's that easy for people to make it. In I wish one day we are able to teach enough people to do Stratagat to be able to make a short film with all the people that we taught. So my plan in the long term is teaching more people so more people can know Stratagat and how to do it. And at some point be able to make a short film with 10 animators, 10 Stratacutters. But I don't know if we have them. We have like 2 Stratacut animators in Spain, 4 in United States, 1 in Peru, 1 in I don't know which country, and it's like very complicated to get funds to make this short film, right? I think it's what she say.
Yeah.
I think it's complicated, but it's interesting. And of course, we have to find ways to do it. I recommend to start with the social media because it's faster, but at some point, going to festivals and doing short films, it's going to be the most amazing way, of course. But we are facing something like Loving Vincent. You know, Loving Vincent was a stop motion film that was hand painted with oil paintings. So we are facing the same problem with the Strata-Cut, I think.
Yeah.
But
If everyone takes 20 seconds, we can make a 2-minute movie. There are some, I've actually entered a film festival where they do micro shorts. So they're like 10 seconds to a minute.
okay,
Still win awards and everything. I actually won the People's Choice Award at that one, but there are short film festivals that do very short films.
that's really interesting. That's a point I haven't thought. It's true. But 1 minute short film, it's possible. And I don't know if you guys seen it, but last year has there is a short film that is moving through festivals, which is called Of Wood, and basically it's a guy who takes a piece of wood, a piece of tree, and he's carving all the time, and the animation is happening while he carves the wood, and he has won so many festivals with this short film.
Is that a BF photo on Instagram? That guy?
I'm not sure
You
who
know?
is.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not the one that's cutting trees and that's it. He was like sculpting on it.
Oh, that's good.
He was
Any
a
more
sculpt.
questions for Tony? Tony, the question is, what do you think is the future for Strata-Cut that you didn't cover in your presentation?
It wasn't my presentation. Uh, well, I think I don't know the future of Stratagat, but I know what I wish it was. I wish we, I wish there is more people doing more informative material so people can learn to Stratagat and can learn what it is. I wish to see Stratagat, for example, I'm from Spain, so I wish to see Stratagat in the Spanish TV. I wish to see Stratagat in the American TV that you are from America, from the US. So I wish the people who is not animator starts to realize that that's a thing. And I wish we all are able to keep doing this beautiful art for a long time. I know David, for example, he did Stratagat for 10 years and then he stopped because he thought it was not possible for the market or it was very expensive. And nowadays we are in a time where everything goes really fast as well. But we found a place where Stratagat is so powerful, which is social media and maybe short films as well. And I think it it is a really good moment for it. It's a moment where everybody is going for digital, everyone is going for technological things, and we are the weirdos that are playing with clay and making something so handmade, and that's still real and impressive. So I think people knows that and appreciates that, and that's the power we have to keep doing this for a really long time. I'm not sure if I will be able to retire doing Stratagat, but who knows? Dreaming, it's free, so I will dream. We all get retired after a long life slicing clay.
Well said, man. I have two questions. Yeah, I don't think you can hear you over there, David. Oh, I can ask it for you if you want to. Yeah, go ahead. Go for it. Hi, Tony. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much for putting the effort into thinking of all this, for your great contribution to gathering an ad hoc group willing to blaze a trail. I really appreciate what you described. I want to say, in response to the future, I tend to go into thinking of Strata-Cut as a complementary piece to stop motion. Like the piece we showed from you is a bit of stop motion and a bit of Strata-Cut.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of mileage in that, I believe, in the sense of you don't need to necessarily have it be pure 4 or 5 seconds. You can have it be little bursts of energy. So make a movie with stop motion characters, perhaps. Can you hear me okay, by the way? I know
Yes.
it's bad. Okay, good. Uh, that have little ray guns, like the little characters pull out their ray guns out of their pocket in 3D, and then this Strata-Cut loaf grows, and then it cuts itself up as this as a ray, as a beaming ray of animation. You use the texture as a kind of hyperactive little a little element that gooses the stop motion for these very strange, uncanny moments. I think you can accomplish a 2-minute film with a story and have actually Strata-Cut be a part of it by that kind of technique. It won't be, you don't have to be that good at the harder stuff, but the patterning and the power of the textures can be incorporated that way. That was one future I saw. I'll continue to talk. I've been trying to explain how the capture of all your frames from different angles using a robot arm will improve stop motion and Strata-Cut because you will have you know photogrammetry. Most people know what photogrammetry is. It's a series of cameras that are put in an array and it reconstructs a three-dimensional image with the texture on it. You agree that that's a commonly now understood technology?
Mhm.
Yes. Now, what is actually happening at this moment, I'm working with a company that is doing neural radiance field. So this is an artificial intelligence version of photogrammetry. And what that offers is the ability to take frame after frame after frame of your Strata-Cut, see it from all angles when it's replayed back. And the power of what that medium will become is transferable, it's digital, it's scalable, which is not what clay or single slices are. They're more tactile. And that provides a great opportunity for the dimensional cinema, the dimensional sharing of animated stop motion and animated Strata-Cuts that will become I just think that that's going to be 100 times more interest because the textures are very real. The quality of the result is incredibly realistic. And so I think in the future, because I'm working with that technology as a product now, not as theory, not as a research paper, not as an idea in AI, I'm working with the actual product. It's still at the cutting edge, it's still the bleeding edge, but in 2 years, that will be more common than I'm describing now and will be one of the most powerful ways to convey over the digital asset world that we live in a really fundamental sculptural approach that's exciting to watch, can be rewatched. And then if I were to go 5 years further, you'll be able to have an animated knife. You'll be able to have an invisible knife that changes the shape as it flows through the block. You can program it to say, I want you to be a circle or a ball or any shape you wish. I want you to be a corrugated ripple going through your block. And that will be, you can re-see your Strata-Cut from all angles in different knife cuts. So you make it once, you let the NERF, the neural radiance field, capture it, and then it is a cohesively understood A to Z, 1 to 200 frame understanding of your block. And then in 5 years, and I'm saying this will come, but not maybe in 2, the ability then to further use an invisible knife that is changing shape in front of you, and you can cut it from different angles and with different shapes. That's my holy grail. I've explained why I think there's an explosion coming from this very strange, archaic, or not well understood. We don't understand. Many people don't understand what this is, but that will be really, really effective. That's my hope.
Okay,
I will let you. Yep.
where's the question?
Do you agree, or do you see that, or do you think that's possible?
I think it's possible, but I don't agree. I'm
That's
going to
why I asked,
explain. I'm
by the
going to
way.
explain you why,
All right.
and that leads me to a very interesting point here. What I've seen in the last year, and I believe it's really interesting, it's that you invented Strata-Cut, and I was talking about this with a friend the other day. You invented Strata-Cut, and you have an artistic vision. And everyone has seen your artistic vision and Strata-Cut as a whole thing. But Strata-Cut doesn't have to be connected to your artistic vision. And the interesting thing now is that new creators are taking the technique of Strata-Cut and they are doing his own artistic vision.
Mhm.
And this is going to lead us to new styles, new way to do it, and
Yep.
new points of view. And that's what I found really interesting of what we are living now, this new wave. Because the
Mhm.
style of David Daniels is not the style of Stratagat, and we are separating those things. I know
Right.
you as a person appreciate technology, you are like technology, you want to go in the first line, but there is people who doesn't. I am one of those person. Why I
Okay.
don't do 3D animation and I do stop motion animation is because I like to touch the clay, because I am tactile person. And many of the people that is doing stop motion, I can say maybe 90% of people who is doing stop motion, it's because they have this egoist point of view that they like to touch objects. And that's why they love stop motion. So of course there is going to be a way where technology is going to help and it's going to improve things. Like for example, with Dragon Frame, I can connect 4 cameras at the same computer, and I can record. I am recording 4 or 5 cameras for Stratacut at this time, but
Wow.
it really depends on what do you like. If you like the real thing or not. The explosion we are seeing now, it's because in a world where everyone is doing technological things, in a world where everything is doing AI, in a world where everything is doing amazing 3D animation, CGI animation, we have took a chunk of clay and slice it. And that's real. And every day cameras have better image quality. That camera there, it has the ability to make a 8K video. So we are not able to reproduce a 8K video in our computers, but we have the capacity on that camera. So as well, once we have the computer able to reproduce an 8K video, we will be able to see Stratagat in 8K resolution, and it's going to be really real, really, really real. And I know some people might like the technological side, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing. And I want to try it myself because I want to see how it is to place the glasses and see a Stratagat in VR. I think that's going to be an exciting moment. But at the same time, I know there is going to be people who will appreciate the vintage thing. It's the same than cameras. Okay, you can have a digital camera, but now it's a moment for people to use film again. Why people is taking pictures with a camera, film camera? Because there is something on the vintage that they like. And there is a lot of people in the stop motion community who like the vintage side. So for example, me, I'm always going to bet for the handmade look, for everything handmade. And as well, I think in you all your career, you told me in the interview you had been 10 years learning Stratagat. So all the techniques you had developed, which are amazing things, had been developed in 10 years. So if now we are 10 people, if we are reached to 10 people doing Stratagat and each of us stays 1 year doing Stratagat and share his knowledge, we are going to make 10 years of knowledge in Stratagat in 1 year. So the amount of things we can test, the amount of things we can try, if we are 10 people, it's 10 times more. All the investigation that Elart has made in 2 years, it's do you have any problem? Oh.
Uh, You're good. Sorry.
So I believe there are things we haven't tested, and even without more technology, just being as it is, there are things we haven't tested. And when we met, when we had our meetings, private meetings with Strata-Cut, we had some ideas thrown which were amazing. Like someone said, "Why we don't melt the clay in a basket?" And someone tried, "Why we don't use gelatin rather than clay to make Strata-Cut?" And we want to try that as well. Why we don't do Strata-Cut, but we do it looking like pixel art, for example? That's something I would like to try. Why we don't do Strata-Cut, but we place it in front of 5 mirrors and we see it from all angles with mirrors? I have here, I just bought here 4 mirrors. So I can place one in front of the other one and create effects that nobody has tried yet. And it's no need for much technology. It's just that only one person making Strata-Cut is not able to investigate everything that 30 people, 40 people it's able to do it. So I think the best way to advance is to teach Strata-Cut, share it with other people, and making sure we are healthy community and we help each other, because that's what's going to make the technique improve. Because even we don't even imagine what is possible to do with the Strata-Cut. I still don't know. And for example, there is a lens, the .prof lens with super macro as well. We can do that. And I don't know, there are many things we can do. What if we put some hair inside the clay and we Strata-Cut it? Nobody has tried. what I don't know, there are many effects we can still use. And I think there is a lot of investigation possible. Of course, there is a way which is technological, but as well there is a way that it's developing this thing you created, which is amazing as it is. And okay, there is going to be new ways, super technologicals, but we don't know when.
I only say it because I'm intimate with it. I don't think it takes away from the handmade nature. I think it just transports what the amazement is across the divide, the digital divide, because the uncanny valley, the thing that makes us know what we're looking at is not real, will start to slip away. And therefore, the power of what you did by hand will start to emerge. And that would be my hope for it. I do think you brought up a lot of interesting points. I think the super macro idea is fantastic. Why not have a borescope and shoot Strata-Cut at basically, a half an inch tall? What would that do? Um,
Exactly.
the my idea of mixing it with all other techniques, I've been during the Ganza, I've been trying to encourage people to use context of objects, actual objects, in which to place the Strata-Cut on. So if you have a rat in Strata-Cut running along something, it's actually on a real corroded pipe. It's an actual object, and you're cutting away on that object.
like
And
like
in
you
many
did
ways,
like you did with the
yeah,
guitar, right? That was amazing.
yes,
That's really
yes,
interesting point of view as well.
yes, that will allow a lot more footage than just 4 seconds in a total block, and it will give a new life. It will like make it fresh again. And this gets to go ahead. Go ahead, Tom.
For example, it's really interesting as well the way Terrence has made an Strata-Cut, because he didn't made the whole video in Strata-Cut. He took the piece, he moved it in stop motion, and then when he arrived to the place, he sliced it after. And that's a mixture as well, where you can do more footage with the same block. Or as well, we can mix pixelation with the Strata-Cut. That's what I'm trying to do for my next project. I'm trying to mix pixelation and Strata-Cut at the same time.
That is going
And
to be awesome. That is going to be awesome, by the way. Thank you for doing that idea. Go ahead.
yeah, I try to sell a Strata-Cut to every customer that comes. Actually, to everyone, I say, yeah, Strata-Cut is the best. So I had convinced everyone. I cannot say what it's going to be, but I can say it's a project for Xbox. So I'm really
It's
happy
amazing.
for this.
Yeah, it's amazing. Ellard showed me some of the work he did for a client he cannot show everyone. It's a very large client. It's perfect. It's, a hip brand that needed this amazing neon electric, crazy gonzo, all things moving at all times kind of, his textures are great. I have done one as well. I was on the road and I actually was shooting Strata-Cut. I was making it in national parks. I was making it in campgrounds. I was making it in the motels. I have not posted the footage of making it, and I cannot show the actual Strata-Cut, but it's a really, really effective, and it's a national brand and a client, and you're doing the same thing. So I'm only telegraphing the enthusiasm that we feel and the success that we're in some small way gaining. And the exposure of that will go to higher brands that you'll see in the next few months as they come out.
Exactly, that's the point. That now it's becoming like a brand, like a wave. Like more brands are knowing about it, more people, and at some point it's going to be more like, why you don't have one of these videos, and if the other people has it. So that's the power of what we are doing, because people it's noticing that this is possible, and that's why as well I want to encourage the teaching side, because more we teach, more people is going to bring new ideas, and we don't know. For example, now you just had been talking and I had one idea. Do you know what is the, I don't know if you call it the same, the black light? Do you call it this? You know?
We're laughing, Tony, because Tay just did a black light Strata-Cut literally 1 hour ago in his session. It's amazing. Yeah, but yes, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say this is an idea no one has ever tried. Okay, Taylor has tried. Okay, that's
Until
great,
it's
that's great,
until
that's good.
today. Yeah. Day three of the Ganza, October 5th. Is it 5th? Yeah. Yeah, day three. And we have in the building, Dago, did it Blacklight strategy. Um, I did want to thank you for Stratober, and I'm happy to call it Strataganzza Stratober. I
Stratover
understand
2.
Stratober 2. It lands on the same month. This is my birthday month, so I'm very happy
Oh,
about that as
happy
well.
birthday.
But anyway, I wanted to tell you that it's all the same, and it's a very, let's make it the month we try to all get together if we can. We'll call it something else next time. Keep making new fun names, or
Yeah.
we'll repeat them. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I'm thinking to make a like a T-shirt for like a like something, like professional Strata gather, and send one for each of you.
Mason has a question, so he's going to question. Oh, go ahead.
That would be great, right?
Well, I'm thinking of it like because we can animate teacher. We animate for what Okay, I have an answer, and I'm gonna tell Tony the question. Mason said, "I love the T-shirt. It's gonna have a still image of Strata-Cut on it. Like I guess my hat has a still image of Strata-Cut. You can't see it, but how do you make it come alive?" And I'm gonna give him the answer. Ultimately, AR Strata-Cut. Basically, the Strata-Cut is a marker. It is a unique marker. It will connect and trigger. And so if you're wearing that and you point it, it will be the marker that explodes the Strata-Cut out of your chest. Right. I think we could do a Strata-Cut that has a like an essay code built into it, like the QR. Oh, QR code. Yes. So right. Exactly. So you could also I don't know. he said a QR code, that the Strata-Cut itself is a QR code triggering the next thing. Okay, go ahead.
That's amazing idea. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we have only about 5 more minutes. And thank you so much for the work you've done, not only in the real community, to gather so many, to create interest, but you care deeply as for some reason, I can't believe it. All of the people who've adopted trying to take up their own version. I agree that what's so satisfying to me is I am seeing expressions of Strata-Cut I always sort of dreamed might happen, and they're coming out and they're not me. It's such a it's a crazy feeling. It makes me cry because it's true, you're all becoming yourselves, and the medium is not just one guy, it is a genre. And that's like a really interesting fundamental step. And thinking in time shapes over time, thinking in that way where you're trying to find the time flow as it's moving through the block as geometry becomes a way of thinking. You actually begin to see how the shapes are doing this. So that's a new language in my mind. It's not maybe verbal, it's not a verbal language, but it's a structural thing you do with your hands. So thank you for teaching. Thank you for
I,
wanting to teach. Thank you
I,
for, yeah. Go ahead.
I believe you teach us a new way to think, and we each of us thinks in a different way. But you teach us how to think on a time block, how
Yeah,
to think
time
what's
sculpt.
going to happen, and that's something you taught us, and I'm really thankful for this.
And I appreciate your comments about the quality of the early tutorials. Okay. I watched those like 100 times. Oh man. And again, it's a gate threshold for your commitment. If you're actually interested, you're
I,
gonna hang in there, and most people won't.
the thing is they're amazing base, but my wish is to be able to remake them. So what I
Yes,
want to do, I made my calculations, and I think with 1 or 2 months of work only dedicated to this, I could make the tutorials again with taking the same essence you teaching, but we're doing with a style closer to the one that Taylor is doing in his videos, which is more
yes,
like YouTuber style videos, which are easier to consume.
right.
So that's something I would like to do. Uh, I will be free from January, so that might be possible this January.
I encourage that. I believe so much good, clear information has been presented, hopefully by me, but most by Ellard Taylor. I hope the audio was on in your session, God damn it. But the all good by Terrence and I'm blanking out. Of course, Ellard, and Mason. Um, I want to do this. My youngest son is 27, and he says I'll set up the cameras. I'll make it look like it's lit right. Uh, and of course, I do high-end commercial work for a living outside of Strata-Cut, or did until I stopped, and now I'm doing this. So I understand presentation. I appreciate it. I love it. I was just one guy too tired to care. And if I didn't do it fast and I didn't do it that moment, if I let the video block me, my technology block me, I wouldn't have been able to. But I'm really happy you're trying. Go ahead.
I believe you did it the best way it was possible.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why. Because you didn't know if people will be interested to watch the videos. So there
Yeah.
was no reason to make the videos in a high quality and with
Yeah.
editing, complex editing, because you didn't know if people was going to be interested. And investing that amount of time wasn't a good investment. But
Right.
the way you did it is great because if you are interested, you can learn. It's just that you have to have an interest, and that's it. And I think it's perfect. It's not like you did it wrong. You did it perfect because that way people can learn. And if you try to make it like very good editing, etc., maybe it was very tiring on that time, and maybe you didn't do the tutorials never. So I think it's better you did it that way, because that way it's a good start. I think the same of the Strataganzza. There is some people that came to Strataganzza and had been teaching his techniques for first time in Strataganzza. So that's the better thing they could do. It doesn't make any sense you explain all your techniques in a very complex, elaborated, nicely video. It's good as it is this way, because if you want to learn, you have Strataganzza to learn, or you have the
Right.
tutorials to learn. And then
Okay.
once some people has learned it, then okay, we can make tutorials that are easier to digest for newer
Yeah.
people. But still, the tutorials you did, they will still being used for a long time, I'm sure.
And to your effort to create a kind of parallel processor of multiple Strata-Cutters who are sharing techniques, your idea that each person can contribute and understand from the next is really gratifying. It's also will speed up new innovation and or thought, which I think is true. And at the end of this, I just have to, the thing I'm left with is the amazing amount of generosity you have shown, that Tay has shown, that Terrence has shown, that Mason has shown, and all the other people who were going to be here but could not make it, who wanted to share, like Steffi Yee couldn't make it, and Jordy, but you were giving it away in a sense. We're all giving it away right now. Why? A, because we know our own personal voice will not be squashed by the other voices that sort of show up to do this, right? Our own personal voice will still be there. Our own complex understanding will increase, so the quality of our own understanding will continue to grow. And hopefully, I'm right that you can still be a hands-on, tactile, primary creator, and that there are digital means that will be so dimensional you can transport it. That to me is enormous. If that happens, that's an enormous benefit of income to those who are making the effort, because their personal expression will be valuable in a way way beyond a two-dimensional screen, a flat screen. So I hope I'm right. I could be wrong. I appreciate you calling me out that I'm too optimistic, maybe. And I do love all things. I am an equal opportunity appreciator of both the handmade and the fascinating new world. I think they go together. Here we are, from Spain to Pratt, and I live in Portland, and I somehow got this here, and we all coordinated, and as a volunteer effort, we've been able to pull it together. So thank you so much for your time and the clear explanation. And I'm really excited by the mirrors you described. The kaleidoscope idea. Who is going to do that? You. Awesome. And
I'm going to
and
try it.
I'm going to try. I know. I know. So I applaud you. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for trying. I know this is technically pretty awkward because you don't have a sense of the room, but everybody is staring, fascinated, nodding. They all appreciate and understand what you said, and they all thank you great. So I'm going to let the applause be loud so you can hear it. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Did our
Thanks.
did our city mic actually get through? Okay, good. All right. Well, I'm going to say goodbye. If you have any last thoughts, go ahead.
Thank you so much. And if you want anything I can help you, you can contact me through
Yeah.
Instagram.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.